Congrats on your home getting ready to close. Typically, the seller can sign a few days before closing. So if it's 5 or 6 days before closing and you haven't heard from the title company, then it's totally okay to reach out. But usually you're gonna sign a little bit in advance. Also, please be sure to review the offer prior to closing and make sure that you're not taking any personal possessions with you that they included in their offer. Meaning, if the buyer wrote in certain appliances, make sure that they're staying with the sale. Also, know that anything that's considered built in stays with the sale. So, that's typically the range and the dishwasher. A lot of microwaves are built in, and the occasional fridge would also be considered to be built in. Anything that is fixed to the home or the land is supposed to stay. So, like if it's a post that's buried in the ground, it's supposed to stay. If it's a plant that's planted into the ground, it's supposed to stay. And if you're thinking about something right now and you're worried because you want to take it with you, then just give us a call and we'll talk with the buyer about it. But if it's screwed into the wall, if it's screwed into anything, it's supposed to stay. And so that unfortunately can even mean TV mounts. Like the TV goes, but the TV mount is technically supposed to stay. The rods, blinds and curtains are supposed to stay. If you want to take some of those curtains with you, then again, just give us a call and we'll make sure that we have a conversation with the buyer so that everybody is on the same page before closing. And then, of course, feel free to leave behind any manuals that match the house, any manuals that match appliances, any remotes that match the garage or things that are built into the house, uh, and keys. Make sure if there's a mailbox key that's left behind, that there's keys left behind for all the various doors in the house. And we recommend just putting all those things perhaps in one kitchen drawer and leaving them there for the buyer at closing. And it's also okay to leave matching things like filters for the furnace, paint that matches, not old paint, but paint that matches what's currently on the walls, and other materials like maybe have some extra tile or something that matches the bathroom tile. It's okay to leave some of that extra stuff. Also, make sure to contact your utility company, let them know when the home is closing, and you have to keep those utilities on through closing or through your possession date. If your possession date is different than closing, make sure you have your utilities on all the way through up until close, but you again let them know once it's closed or just before. And then the general rule is you don't have to necessarily deep clean the entire property, but they call it broom swept. So all the trash needs to be gone, and generally speaking, it needs to have a clean appearance for the buyer to move in. And at the end of the day, we'll get the buyer in through the key that's in the lockbox, so you don't have to worry about arranging to get them a key or something like that. They'll just use our lockbox if it's still on there, which we typically leave it so that they can access it at closing. And then know that title will send you your funds right away. So however you've instructed them to do so, or if you haven't talked to them yet, that's one of the things they'll ask. And if it's wiring, a lot of times you'll get your funds the same day or the next business day. So do know if it closes on a Friday, that means there's a chance you might not get those funds until Monday. But ask the title company if you have any clarifying questions on that. And then, of course, if you have any concerns before we close, then please just reach out right away and we'll talk about them together. But yeah, we're looking forward to the successful close of your sale.